The daughters of Oryx and Oryx himself are the final encounters in King's Fall. Well, I mean, you've already killed his son, might as well clear the rest of them, right? The daughters of Oryx are up first. Group composition does not matter too much here. A Defender Titan with Weapons of Light is helpful, but not 100% needed. Night Stalker Hunters with Black Hole are good as well for an extra damage boost on the daughters during the damage phase. Once again, sniper rifles are incredibly good for this encounter. Before you start the fight, select a meeting spot for your group for when you attack the daughters. I'll suggest some spots later in the video. The daughters encounter is a pretty short one, but still demanding on coordination. In the room will be 4 small pillars with plates on them. The daughters will be floating on the 2 middle platforms in the middle of the room, but the encounter does not start until you step on one of the 4 plates, so feel free to wander and get set up. These plates generate platforms in the air, but only one person is able to jump on them. That person is the person who is in between dimensions. The player who is in between dimensions is randomly selected upon entering the room, and then again randomly during the encounter. It is that player's job to grab the brand at the top of the platforms to make one of the daughters vulnerable to damage. When you step on a plate, the fight will start and Ir Halak will start singing the Hymn of Weaving. After 1 minute without a protective aura, your team will die. To counter the Hymn of Weaving, you need the Aura of Unraveling, and to counter the Dirge of Unraveling, which is the other song sung by Ir Anuk, you need the Aura of Weaving. To get the brand, and therefore the aura, the player who is in between dimensions must climb to the top of the area via the platforms generated by the 4 players standing on the plates. However, the plates can't be activated in any random order. They must be activated counterclockwise to make sure the path set up is able to actually be traversed. The first platform should be the one next to the orb going counterclockwise. Important to note that if you step off of your platform at any time, the plates will disappear and the runner will fall right through them. So do not step off of your plate at any point while the runner is in the air. For example, we'll label the platforms as such: front left, front right, back left, and back right, where the front is closest to the entrance. If the brand is located above front left, then front right is where you would start, then back right, then back left, then front left. If the brand is located above back right, then the order would be back left, front right, back right. The platforms can be activated as quickly as you want, just make sure they're in the right order. Each platform, when set up in the correct order, also has a floating black orb that must be picked up before you can go to the next platform. These orbs are picked up automatically and do not require anything special of the player who is platforming. Simply running through it is more than enough, and you do not need to slow down. At the very top of the platform will be the brand. Simply stand near the brand for a second or so to pick it up. After the brand is picked up, it needs to be used to steal the brand of the daughters. One of the daughters will be lit up. It'll be obvious which one. The brand of the daughter that is not lit up is the one that needs to be stolen, then attacked. If you're a Titan, increased control works quite well so you don't go up as high and lose your momentum. If you're a hunter, triple jump works wonders for this part. Warlocks, well, your jump kinda sucks, but you can still definitely do this with no problem. The daughter who is lit up is the one singing, and if you steal the brand of the daughter who is singing and don't kill them before the song is complete, you will die. Simply jump onto their platform and hold square for PlayStation or X for Xbox to steal the brand. That covers the in-between dimensions player, but what about the rest of you? Each player should be assigned a plate at the beginning of the fight, with one person being the flex option. Then, to activate the fight, simply jump onto the plate. When the fight is activated, you'll start to have enemies spawn in. In the middle will be a Major Taken Centurion, which should be focused fired down by everyone in the group. A good way to start the fight is to have everyone throw their grenade into the middle. Once platforms are active, you'll also have enemies spawning throughout the entire area, just kill what you can. At about 42 seconds remaining in the Hymn or Dirge, Taken Vandal snipers will spawn in the air on the outside of the arena, one for each platform. A few shots or a sniper shot takes them out. After the interdimensional player grabs the final orb, your team can and should step off of their platforms and start to group up while the interdimensional player steals the aura from the daughter. Once the aura is stolen, the player with the aura should group up on the rest of the team, and all team members should stay within the aura for its duration. Your team should then group up together within the aura and put damage on the vulnerable daughter. While inside the aura, you are immune to all damage from any source, although enemies will still be hitting and flinching you if you are within range of them. Popular meeting spots are close to the middle on the main floor and on the platform on the side the daughter is on. For example, if you are attacking the left side daughter, group up on the top of the left side plate, right side for the right daughter. This position is popular because it gets you away from any thrall that might flinch you. Do not worry about standing on the plate screwing up the next part. You'll have plenty of time to step off and adjust positions. The position you see us in is one where we were still learning which spot we liked the best. It does work and you can use it if you want, just find whatever works for your team. You can kill one of the daughters in a single phase. However, this means that if you don't kill the next one before time expires, you will wipe. If you're not confident in your damage, simply bring the first target to low health or as low as you can get them. This way, the target will be easier to kill next time around. After the hymn or dirge completes, provided you grab the correct aura, the entire phase starts over again with the next target. However, make sure to stay within the aura until it goes away. The hymn or dirge will still go off, killing you, and it's much easier to just stay in the aura anyway, where you are immune to all damage. The brand in the sky may have moved to a different position, and the interdimensional player may be a different player this time around. It is random after all, so make sure you adjust as needed. You'll have 20 seconds after the aura goes away to set up before the next song starts singing. Then just repeat the process again as needed. Keep going back and forth until you kill both of them. Like I said, if your damage is good enough, you'll only have to do this twice. Once defeated, your sweet loot will be in a chest in the middle of the room. Now it is time for Oryx. Give your friends a good scare by having them go over to the floating light at the edge of the platform to start the encounter. The Oryx Encounter is a more complicated version of the fight that you just did. The mechanic of running up the platforms is incredibly important again, although now you can pick one person to be the designated platformer, or as I like to call it, the dunk master for the fight. Each other player should be assigned a plate to stand on with one person as the flex option. Group composition once again does not matter too much. One Weapons of Light Titan is more than enough, but otherwise supers are not an effective way of dealing with Oryx, although they do help in other parts of the fight. Oryx will spawn after touching the floating light. He's a bit larger compared to when you last saw him, so needless to say, just shooting him is not going to cut it. When he first rises, you'll have some taken thrall spawn in the corners, and then 2 Boomer Knights on the plates closest to Oryx. Just kill them. Then Oryx will move either left or right. Whichever plate Oryx moves to is the plate that you will start the platforming on, and it works the same exact way. Do not jump on the plate that Oryx is near until after he slams his fist, or shockingly enough, you will get crushed. When he moves his fist, he'll leave an orb on the plate. If you touch it, you will go into the other dimension, so make sure the Dunk Master is the first person to touch this. The Dunk Master should hop on the platforms just like the last fight. Grab the brand and come down carefully. The players on the ground are going to have a little bit more to do this time around. Starting from Oryx's side, each plate will spawn an ogre in the inside corner called a Light Eater. These should be killed very quickly, as fast as possible. They do very heavy damage, and getting off of your plate is not an option. If you kill them fast enough, they should not even be able to move from where they first spawned, and all players that can shoot the ogre that spawns should. 4 of them will spawn in total, 1 for each plate. When killed, they will drop a black orb of corrupted light. Do not touch this for now. You'll also have other enemies spawning in the area, but focus on the ogre first, although Acolyte eyes should be taken down quickly if you see them. When the Dunk Master grabs the brand, immediately step off of your plate and group up in the center of the room. The person on the plate where Oryx is needs to be especially aware because he will slam his fist down again shortly after. After about 25 seconds after Oryx slams his fist the first time, a Hive Tomb Ship will be flying in. The Tomb Ship shoots Void Blasts, so be very wary of that. 5 seconds later, a Vessel of Oryx will spawn in and will be completely immune to damage. He'll also have an aura around him. The Dunk Master with the Brand Claimer buff, aka the thing you grabbed at the top, needs to go steal the brand from the vessel using square or X. Once stolen, the vessel will become vulnerable, and the brand holder will now have the aura of immortality, which makes all players within it immune to all damage from every source. However, you must kill the Vessel of Oryx, as the vessel will go around eating the corrupted light orbs, and you need those. Immediately blow up the vessel, then start heading back to the middle. If you're fast enough, start killing any extra enemies that spawned in the area. Trust me, there will be plenty. The fewer enemies alive going into this next part, the better. Oh, and one more thing, make sure you don't get near that tomb ship at all, speaking to the Dunk Master on this one. Approximately 42 seconds after Oryx slams his fist the first time, he will slam it again. You need to be in position with the Aura of Immortality after this second slam. In position means in front of Oryx, ready to shoot. About 5 seconds after that second fist slam, his chest will open up and will be vulnerable to damage. You need to pump enough damage into Oryx in order to stagger him. If you don't, you'll all die immediately. His attack pierces the aura. If you do stagger him, each player should head back to the plate that they were on and get ready to detonate their corrupted light. What worked for our group was everyone getting right next to their corrupted light, doing a quick countdown, detonating, and then running back to the aura who stays in the middle of the room. To detonate the light, you just need to stand inside the circle that it makes for a few seconds. Make sure that the message saying you detonated it appears on the screen. The reason you should do this at the same time is because when a light explodes, it'll kill everything not in the Aura of Immortality. The player with the aura and the flex player should simply stay in the aura, but move towards the middle to make the aura more central to everyone. The aura player and the flex player should continue to shoot Oryx the entire time. This is very important. If you do not keep damage on Oryx after he staggers, the corrupted light detonations will do nothing. It doesn't have to be all 6 players worth of damage, but it does need to be constant. Once your orb is detonated, run back to the aura as fast as possible, as you'll have enemies shooting at you if you didn't kill them. Then, if you kept damage on Oryx, the orbs will explode, dealing very heavy damage. 4 orbs worth of damage is about 25% of his health, so 16 orbs are required to bring him down to 0, which is 4 perfect cycles. Oryx will then fall off the side of the arena and reset back to his original position. Next up is the in-between phase. When Oryx returns to the middle, as long as his health is above 50%, this in-between phase should be known as the sprint phase. For about 25 to 30 seconds, giant orbs of darkness will be spawning on top of every player. You need to move out of these orbs or you will die. However, the radius of these blasts is very large, to the point where you almost need constant movement to safely get out of them. Each player assigned to a plate should simply just run around their plate in circles. The Flex and the Dunk Master should run up and down the middle aisle and around where you walk into this main room. As long as you are constantly moving, you should be fine, and it is totally possible to do this phase without ever taking damage from the blasts. Some Boomer Knights will spawn on the plates as well. You can kill them if you want, but obviously running away from the blasts is going to be a higher priority. After the sprint phase is over, you're going to do what you just did over again, except this time, Oryx will move to a different plate, so adjust your plate stepping orders as needed. Absolutely nothing changes otherwise. Once Oryx is at 50% health or less, he will no longer trigger the sprint phase. If you get 2 perfect damage phases with 8 orbs, you'll only have 1 sprint phase. Anything less will likely result in another sprint phase. Instead, he will now trigger what my team calls the Dark Souls phase, but if you're a normal person, this is called the Shade phase. Oryx will summon a giant black orb right in front of him. Don't touch this because you'll die instantly. You'll also have 2 Boomer Knights spawn on the plates and Thrall in the corner, which should be killed. Slowly, Oryx will start to teleport players into the orb to fight a Shade of Oryx. The Shade must be killed as fast as possible. You only have a limited amount of time to kill it, otherwise Oryx will kill your entire team with a cast of Doxology. The Shade can be shot when outside of the sphere, so do work. Players who have not teleported inside should continue to kill Thrall on the outside, because any Thrall that reach the orb in the middle will go through into the area where the teleported players are. Think of the giant orb as the arena your teammates are fighting in. If any Thrall get through, then your teammates are the ones who have to deal with them, and that's not something that they want to deal with. While inside of the orb, you will not regenerate health either, which is why killing Thrall is so important. During the Shade phase, the Shade of Oryx will glow bright and enter the sphere to attack you. Our callout for this is called Dark Souls because of the precise timing on the dodging and jumping that you need to perform, plus the Echo's tricky timing with who he will swing at and his timing. You can use a Shadow Shot to disable him for a short time, although I'm not sure if it works 100% of the time. Make sure you hit him physically with the shot. There are sometimes timing issues with being teleported inside of the sphere and the Dark Souls phase occurring. We've had it happen a few times where someone would just get teleported inside while the Shade was attacking, and that player would just immediately get whacked and die. As you get teleported in, be sure to move as quickly from the center as possible to minimize the chance of this happening. As for damaging the shade when it's in the mist, use geometric callouts. He'll leave a small trail in the direction he is going when he teleports, so turn in that direction and call out how far using degrees. For example, left 90, right 45, 180, etc. This makes it much easier to comprehend where he has moved to. Kill the shade to be teleported out of the sphere. Once that phase is complete, you'll do the damage phase again, followed by another Dark Souls phase, then another damage phase, and you'll keep going until you bring Oryx to 0. A perfect run will look like so. Damage, sprint, damage, shade, damage, shade, damage. That's 4 orbs per damage phase for a total of 16. However, do not celebrate when he's at 0% health because there's still one more thing to do. When his health reaches 0, Oryx will rise from the center one final time. He will start casting Doxology and his chest will open. Shoot it. A lot. If you don't, you wipe. If you do, you win. Congratulations on your Oryx kill. Overall, this fight is pure execution. There is very little with regards to random elements that will mess you up. 99% of the time, if something goes wrong, it's because you or someone on your team messed up. It can be the littlest things, like missing the first jump onto an interdimensional platform, dying during the sprint phase, killing an ogre in a bad spot, letting Thrall into the sphere, etc. Death very much matters in this fight, and considering you need 5 people alive at any point during the damage phase, well, that makes staying alive all the more important. Practice will make perfect for this encounter, and it is quite the satisfying victory. This concludes the King's Fall strategy guide. I hope you all enjoyed the raid. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.